Vivian Medrano. This is her first ever, so give it up. All right, congratulations. How is it going?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's going amazing.
Right.
Wow. This is my first time at New York Comic Con. Incredibly nervous, but I'm very excited.
It's gonna be great. 90 million views. And this is the scary part.
Yes.
That fan base they took to it. How did you come up with the idea, first of all?
Oh wow. So Hazbin has existed with me for since middle school.
Okay, you were a weird kid. I love it.
I was an absolutely very weird kid. I created some of these characters kind of came at different stages of my life, and I've always loved villains and monsters and creepy characters and weird, and I grew up with Disney princesses and things like that. So when it came to creating these characters, they came from all these different points in my life, and I just started to put them together, and I started to be like, I like the idea of these characters all kind of being stuck in one place. And that's kind of where the hotel came in, and from that it just developed. And I remember when I first set out to make an independent showcase or an independent proof of concept for a series about these characters, it started so little. I was like, just let's do something simple. I had just graduated college, so it was very, very fresh, and I was just like, what am I going to do? What's my first big project? And it ended up becoming this huge thing. I brought on more and more people, and it started to grow, and it was, I had such a devoted audience that I'd grown up that whole time, and it became this 30-minute musical, and it took off, and now I'm sitting here.
Amazing. And you're an infant. You're so young, and you just cracked this out. Do you remember the first time you heard from a fan of it?
Oh my God. Well, it was what was cool about the pilot, the original YouTube pilot, was that it was kind of grown in front of everybody. So there was such a organic chance to kind of see the audience build.
Right.
But when it came out, it just exploded in a way, and so it was so cool to see all these different perspectives come at me all of a sudden, and I was like, oh my gosh, people like this. People like these characters as much as I do.
Right. And had you developed any of them when you were at school? Had this always been a work in progress?
Yes, it's been a work in progress. College was probably the main kind of birthing ground of the project. That was the weirdest way to say it.
And do they look any different than from back then?
They do. So their looks and stuff have always been evolving, and it's so cool because I feel like now is the most polished version of them in the series, and I'm so excited with how they look.
Okay, so for those of you there's some people who may not have seen it. So why don't you tell the audience what Hazbin Hotel is?
So Hazbin Hotel is a story about Charlie Morningstar. She is a dreamer, she's incredibly passionate, and she has these determinations and these goals and these big, she's just determined to do right by her people and her kingdom, which is hell. And so her main goal is to protect them from a yearly extermination that is held by heaven, to kind of keep the numbers down because they think that hell is overpopulated and they're worried about any kind of uprising happening. So Charlie obviously does not like this, and so she comes up with this idea for this hotel that she sees as sinners will check in to the hotel as sinners, be rehabilitated, and then check out into heaven. And the show is kind of about whether or not that's possible, whether or not things are that simple, about what redemption means, and also all those things. It's about found family, it's about kind of finding yourself coming into your own, and it's a comedy, it's a drama, it's a musical, a big musical, which is super fun. Springboards right off the events of the original YouTube pilot.
That's what I wanted to ask. Would you consider the first episode of this production pilot 2.0 or episode 102?
I see it as pilot 2.0. Like this has a new opening episode. It doesn't retread the same events of the previous YouTube pilot, so it's kind of a nice continuation of the story.
And the way you were describing it, when I was watching it, she has this concept that she's going to rehabilitate these people and then send them to heaven. But she's never struck a deal with heaven. It's very much like, hey, we've got a bar and let's put on a show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the look of it, it's very much obviously your designs, what was it like picking the palettes and getting those colors? Because the colors are very rich.
Oh my gosh, the colors are, well, I am very partial to saturated color. I am obsessed with it. Color is very important in the show, and it's also very important in my kind of hell universe. So this show is very red. That's partially because the show is in hell, and that's kind of the color associated with hellish things. But there is a surprising amount of color besides that, and it's a very fun kind of, it played a big role in creating the emotions of scenes and things like that.
And what kind of approach did you take for the animation itself? Because it's a little different than what we've seen. It has some echoes of shows that people might recognize, especially one starring a very likable, chaotic young lady who also surrounds herself with demons and troublemakers. But it's definitely got this like, it's edgy. How was that trying to come up with that design?
Well, I love sharp things. I love
everything is sharp.
Everything's sharp. The animation is hand drawn, which makes it very quirky, and it gets to be very expressive. I love making characters as expressive as possible with big eyes. My style kind of comes from a lot of different things. Like also Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, which is the edgiest.
Yes.
And then I also adored the Batman animated series, so Bruce Timm style. Yeah. So I feel like my style and the look of the show is kind of like if you took all that, put it in a blender, and then made it sing show tunes.
There you go. Yes. And it does. There is definitely like that frenetic Looney Tune energy, especially in the I don't want to ruin it, but like some of the battle scenes. So let's talk. Who's doing your music?
So the music for the series was done by an amazing songwriting team that I work with on some of my other projects as well. It's Sam Haft and Andrew Underberg. They are fantastic together. They created these songs that are, like you said, I'm blown away by the soundtrack. Like I'm kind of a musical theater snob, and like sometimes like I won't always listen to, like you have so many songs, so many projects, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna listen to like the soundtrack of like this musical or whatever while I'm working. I will listen to this soundtrack myself, and
Straight
I'm like
up.
obsessed with it. It is amazing. I'm so proud of what they made. They did it in such an amazing record time, and every song is a banger. And I'm so excited for everyone to get to hear the music in the show. It's all over the musical theater spectrum.
It's so, it really is so, it's so elevated, the music. Like, because when shows do a musical episode and it's like the cast sings a song, but they're not singers. These are singers.
Oh, these are singers.
Show tunes.
Yeah, the requirements of the songs in this show was so big. Yeah. Like, we tested the singers in this show.
Nice. Well, you know what? Instead of talking about it, let's show them one.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, you guys want to see one? All right. So I think, I think they're into it. So why don't you tell us what we're about to see?
Oh my gosh. So we are about to see a short portion of the amazing and very long opening number of this show. Like it's the opening number in the series and in the first episode. It's Charlie's I Want song, and it's also kind of the introduction to this universe. So it kind of plays those two roles, and it's amazing. It's called Happy Day in Hell. And and it's so much fun.
Nice. Well, remember, again, no filming. You can text, you can tick, you can talk. No, you can't actually TikTok, because that's all video, so not that. You can thread, but you're going to love this, so let's watch this.
He goes all over the place.
And episode 2 has another amazing number. We saw a couple names up there.
Yes.
So let's talk about this cast because you have an amazing cast coming into this. Let's go one by one. So Charlie, this is Erica Henningsen. This is so. If you do not know who Erica Henningsen is, she played Katie in Mean Girls the musical, original cast on Broadway, and she's phenomenal. She's so talented, such a great Broadway performer, but so funny in this as well.
Eric, oh, sorry.
Oh, but tell us about Charlie.
Oh, yes. So Charlie is obviously the Princess of Hell. As you saw, she's incredibly just bouncy and joyous and expressive and so much fun. Erica Henningsen is an absolute delight. She embodies this character. When I first met her, when she first came in to record, it was like Charlie was in the room. Like, she came in like, hi, oh my gosh, like, we're so, like, she was the brightest energy. And I was like, oh, it's gonna be not any trouble getting this character out of her. She just has such an amazing just presence, and her singing is amazing, and she just has that kind of Disney princess energy. But what's nice about this character is that she's the Princess of Hell, and she's adult and a little bit of edgy in there, but she has that amazing quality.
She has optimism, and
yes.
And also she has this very hot husband named Kyle, who it's so fitting because he was the teacher in Monster High, so I feel like they're like a perfect Halloween couple now. Yeah, so you might want to look at him for season 2. And now this is a name, Vaggie, thank you. Okay, that
may or may not be a joke, though.
Okay, thank you, because I was like, ooh, and that's Stephanie Beatriz, who's incredible again, right? Like, she's having such a great moment.
Oh, she's having a massive moment right now. Yeah. Like, when she came in, it was like literally during like the kind of the heyday of everything, like Encanto, just everything. Like, it was so, and she's amazing. Like, I was absolutely thrilled. With having her, and she's another person who really nails this character, because Vaggie has this somberness to her, and this kind of, she's very level-headed and she's very calm, but she's also very strong. Right. And Stephanie is so amazing at kind of, she has such a range in her voice. She kind of can go into this
right?
Yeah, it's so cool. Like, because when you meet her, her voice is very bright, and it's very, it's, and then she can go into this more like, you know, kind of lower end, and it's awesome. And she's got an amazing voice, an amazing singing voice, and she's fantastic. I can't say enough about her. She's fantastic.
And you have locked in Blake Roman to play Angel Dust, who is, I know, a huge fan favorite. So what is this happening right here? Look at that. Yeah.
So Blake is so special. I could gush forever about Blake. So Blake, like, when I first heard Blake's audition, I was like, oh, that's Angel. Oh my gosh, like that. Wow, it sounds just like, it sounds so much like kind of what had been established, and it was really his singing that really was what nailed it for him. Like, his singing he's one of the best singers I've ever heard in my life. Like, his range and his ability and his emotion and his singing is next level. And it was amazing to work with him because, you know, like, he was someone just authentically that just nailed the role in the auditions, and I've gotten to know him, and he's sweet and he's incredible, and I don't want to say something that's wrong, but I'm pretty sure he has his Broadway debut happening like really soon.
Yeah, I think so, right?
Yeah, he has a Broadway show opening called Harmony. He's in a show called Harmony that's about to open, and I'm so proud of him. Because like, I'm like, oh my, I knew it. I was like, you're gonna be a big time. Yeah. When we cast him, he's incredible, and he does the character so much justice.
And what is this character?
So Angel Dust is he's the first sinner at the hotel. He is a porn star in this universe, which makes him basically akin to a Hollywood celebrity in this universe, since it's hell. And yeah, he definitely is a character that has an incredibly intense story, and he has a lot of walls up, and he's so excited. Like, I'm so excited. I think he's one of the most special characters to me personally as well. I've had him for a very long time, and yeah, I can't wait for everyone to see him in the series.
And then we have Alistair, Alistair, right? So, and you have Amir Talai from How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, so Amir's another one that's an amazing story, and also like, so Alistair is the character that I've had since middle school.
This
if
was
it's not
the
obvious.
the radio killer.
Yes, and you can tell because of how edgy he looks. He looks like an old, like, edgy teenager's OC because he is. He just has always been. He didn't really change that much. And so this character obviously has lived with me for so long, and I'm, you know, and I'm so amazed that it's gotten this far. Like, now he's in a series. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh. But when I first created him, I created him to a voice, or to a song rather. Like, when I first, music has always been a huge influence on me, and so when I create characters, I like knowing what they might sound like, or what I'd want them to sound like. So there was a song from the original Annie recording, like the musical Annie.
Oh my God! Never fully dressed without a smile.
Yes, there's a song called "You're Never Fully Dressed Without a Smile" from the Annie soundtrack, and in it there's a character named Bert Healy, who's the radio host, and he sings this, hold on, you know, he does that
hey,
voice.
Older man, hey, Dapper Dan.
Yes, and he, yeah, Arse. But he, that was always the voice to me. And even in the original, like, I always try to get as close to that as possible. I was like, I want that, that's his voice to me. And it's been like something I've always been chasing. And so even when we were in the casting process for the series, I was like, you know, this isn't a normal sound anymore. This kind of voice is such a different kind of older thing, you know, that even modern Bert Healys don't do it in the same style. So I went on a limb as we were trying to find, like, we were through the casting process, and I was looking for any actor to just kind of throw into the mix. And I took a chance, and I looked on YouTube, and I looked up Bert Healy, and I looked up that song. And it just so happened that there was a video uploaded from the Hollywood Bowl in like 2018 of Amir Talai playing Bert Healy, singing "You're Never Fully Dressed Without a Smile." And I heard it, and I went, that's pretty good. That's pretty close. And so what I was like, I hope this actor voice acts and isn't afraid of demon stuff. And so I sent his name over to casting, and he read for it, and he nailed it, and he is Alistair.
That is amazing. That is written in the stars.
Yes.
All right, so Alistair brings with him several other characters into the hotel. First of all, you have Husk, who is by Keith David.
There's a Husk fan over here.
Keith David from Princess and the Frog is doing Husk. He's amazing. Talk about Husk.
Oh my God, yeah. Yes. No, Husk is a very special character. This character has always been special between me and my sister as well. And Keith David is a legend. And it's absolutely amazing to have him in this cast. Like, he was probably the cast member I was most excited for people to find out about, because he's perfect in this role. He's a legend. A veteran. Like, I grew up with his voice. I grew up, one of my favorite animated movies of all time is Princess of the Frog. He plays the villain. It's the best. Like, he's an amazing singer. Can't gush enough about him. It was an honor to work with him, and it was to the point where me and Richard Horvitz was the voice director for the series, and we both were like so nervous to direct him in any way, because we were like, he knows his stuff. We're just like, he's such a legend. We don't want to, but he was so nice and warm, and like, we ended up having so much fun.
Nice. And finally, you have Nifty being played by Kimiko Glenn from Orange is the New Black. There she Who is this one?
Oh my gosh, so Nifty is a fun character. Nifty is the kind of the maid of the hotel. Her and Husk kind of were brought in by Alistair, so they both kind of have to be there when they don't want to be. But Nifty kind of goes with it, and she loves it. She loves loves being messy, loves cleaning everything up. Like, she's kind of very one-track minded, and but she's silly, and she is probably the show stealer. Like, in a lot of ways, she's just so funny. Like, comically, she's one of like the funniest in the show. And Kimiko like nails that. Kimiko has such a distinct voice, and she's so good at comic timing and kind of nailing these little nifty-isms in the character. And it was just fantastic to work with her.
What a get. All right, so this is an amazing cast. You also have a couple other names that We saw up there that you have Alex Brightman as Serpentis, and Christian Borle as Vox, and then also
big
Joel
fan.
Perez as Valentino.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh my
these
God.
are incredible. This is going to be, you have this huge fan base. You probably feel a ton of pressure. What does it mean to have such a loyal fan base, though?
It means the world. The biggest, like, amazing part of this whole journey has been seeing people who love these characters as much as I do. And because they really do. I don't know how many people here have been, like, kind of around for the whole ride. Woo! Thank you. But it's been such a huge journey, and the fan base has been so loyal and so patient. It came out so long ago, and it's been kind of this huge journey of production and finding out where it would be and all these things, and people stuck by it, and I'm so excited because I genuinely feel like it delivers, and I genuinely am so proud of it. I'm probably prouder of this season than it's one of my most proud things that I've ever done, and I can't thank the fandom enough. I can't thank everyone who supported me and supported the original YouTube pilot and who was part of the original YouTube pilot, because that was so many people, and I'm so thankful for all of them, and I'm so thankful that it's gotten to this point, and I'm so thankful for the team that made this season, and I'm just
And
overflowing.
made with A24.
A24.
Their first animated thing ever.
Yes, and that's huge pressure.
Yeah, right.
So I'm honored to be the first animated show on A24, which is an incredible studio, and I'm honored to be with Prime Video.
Yeah. You're
honored
rolling
by
with the big
everything.
kids now.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, congratulations, everyone. Give it up, Vivian Medrano. Congratulations so much.
Thank
you. Guys,
you.
Hazbin Hotel 2024. Thanks so much.
Thank you.